It's a full moon. Transform into a scary beast. Got some claws and hairy feet. A pair of fangs I made to feast. It's a full moon. Yeah. Don't you try to run from me. You cannot keep up with me. My super strength and super speed. It's a full moon.
Dave,
What's wrong today, Chris?
those kids are back on my lawn.
Those damn kids, man.
Those damn kids are back. I thought I shooed them away.
You're gonna have to try harder.
I need to turn the hose on or something, but this cannot stand.
No, we will not stand for it.
What's good, everybody, and welcome to Body Bag Podcast. I'm Chris Thomas, and with me, as always, Broke Rider Dave.
How we doing, everybody?
So, you wanted me to dive deep back into my old wells, huh?
Yeah,
Where my hashtag hate series all started,
these damn kids.
which I didn't know was going to be a ongoing thing that would eventually make our top 10 list and our hashtag list, but it was just kind of like an off-the-cuff statement I had made one time saying I need to make a list of like all of my all the kids that I don't like in movies, and so much so that I needed to make a second list, or
Exactly.
by demand of Dave here.
Yeah,
So while I was making this list, I was trying to think, all right, what is the age range for when it comes to kids? So I was like, all right, what would be the cutoff age? So I thought the age we'll have to stop at will be 15. So right before driving age.
that's what I thought too. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too.
So 15 is the cutoff point. So they have to be 15 or younger. So they have to be old enough. Like you could be a little bit of a teenager, but not old enough to drive.
Yeah,
I think that's a good cutoff.
exactly.
So these are my hashtag top 10 Chris hates kids. And I figured I'd start off number 10 with kind of how this whole thing started. It all started with me saying about how the Jurassic Park series didn't need kids.
Exactly.
So I think in the first one I said I had the kids from the original. In this one, I'm saying kids from Jurassic World, the first one.
Okay.
I'm starting it off a little bit light because they are not the worst, thing in the world. But I just feel that the movie friggin' stops whenever we just got finished seeing an entire park get ravished by these giant like sea monsters, pterodactyls ripping dudes apart, friggin' tyrannosaurus or raptors and everything eating people. Complete pandemonium. Let's go see what the kids are up to. Let's go see what let's stop all this fun stuff and see what the kids are up to. Maybe force a little bit of nostalgia that is like out of nowhere, like because they come across the Jeep. Like,
Yeah.
remember this, guys? It's from the first one. Yeah. So why are you next to it? I don't want to. I would have rather seen anybody from the original come across it, not you.
Yeah. Only time I want to see kids in a Jurassic Park movie is when they're standing in front of a glass of water and
Now,
you get slowly shaking as the T-Rex gets closer.
Now, has Jurassic Park ever had the balls to actually kill off any of the kids? I don't think they
believe
have.
so. No.
Even the in the third one, at the very intro, where the little girl gets sees those little mini raptor things, the little tiny
Yeah, she
dinosaurs.
only got injured.
Yeah, they say later, yeah, she's fine.
Yeah.
Like, really?
And the other
Those
kids
things, sorry.
survived on the island for like 8 weeks
Sorry,
without an adult.
apparently kids are better at surviving apparently than military trained adults.
Yeah.
And those little tiny monsters kill full grown men, but apparently the little girl's fine.
Yeah.
She's
All
cool.
right.
She's cool. Just a couple scratches.
Whatever.
Yeah, so I had to go Jurassic World. Like it, I don't. It's just you have cool scenes, and then it's just stop. Let's go check on the kids. Let's check on see how they're doing right now.
No one cares.
So I had to kind of make that my number 10 just to kind of get it out of the way.
Okay.
Now the next, other than the last two, all of these kids have varying degrees of annoyance to me.
Okay.
But the last two are definitely like for a reason why they're my top two.
All
So
right.
number 9, the number 9 and is gonna kind of be a little bit of what some of these are. The bullies from Dreamcatcher, from the flashbacks. Have you seen Dreamcatcher?
Don't know. I think I saw it a long time ago.
Stephen King story.
Yeah, no, it's I just don't remember if
Um,
I've seen it or not.
In the flashbacks, they have these bullies picking on Duddits, who is the mentally slow kid with a Scooby Doo lunchbox, trying to force him to eat a dog turd.
Yeah.
Just, it's not even that they're bullies picking on a mentally challenged kid. It's the fact, it's like one-dimensional bullies. Like,
Yeah.
we're bullies for the sake of being bullies. Is like just like about as deep as as deep as a shallow pond. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
and apparently these kids are terrified of they're those jean jacket or leather jacket bearing things. Probably one of them has like a switchblade.
Yeah.
Yet they'll be terrified. Oh, we're gonna tell. There was a scene where it's like, oh, he's gonna go and tell his mom what you did, and that like stops the bullies. Like, really? Big
Okay.
tough guy bullies are terrified about what their moms might hear. Like, so there. So many movies have that, and
Yeah.
we'll see some more of it a little bit down the line in
Okay.
my list. Number 8, in the very first episode of Creepshow,
Okay.
the new series. There is a story about a kid's dad who drinks this beer that I think has like some kind of thing in it, and it turns him into this like moldy monster creature that eventually starts feeding on people.
All right.
And this kid, who I think is the older brother in the rebooted It movie, I think he played the older brother of Georgie.
Okay.
I just don't know his name. And he's tasked with having to, like, his dad keeps forcing him to go. It's a big metaphor for alcoholism and abuse
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Forces him to go and get beer. And then also when he starts becoming a monster, the kid starts bringing people to the house for his dad to feed on. And the kid is like, when he's with the adults who are the main characters in this particular episode, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just wanted my dad back." And I was like, "Oh no, kid, you don't get to say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't want all this to happen. You fed your dad a couple of people. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get to be moral now." You know what I mean?
No.
I could let the first two slide. Like, you didn't know that your dad was going to do that, maybe.
Yeah.
But at this point, you are fully aware that you are feeding people to your dad. And not only is he feeding people to dad, the two people who he fed in the movie, in the series, to who one of them dies, but the other one like managed to get away.
Oh wow.
You know who the two? It was two cameos:
No.
Tobin Bell,
Okay.
so Jigsaw,
Jigsaw. All right.
and Giancarlo Esposito, or for all of you Breaking Bad fans, Gus.
Okay.
You had Gus Fring and Jigsaw in this movie, and that kid tried to feed both of them to the monster. How dare you?
What's wrong with you, kid?
those two are seasoned actors.
Yeah. See, I could have let him get away with it if he was feeding like shallow level bullies to his dad.
No, this was one of them was like the local police officer, and the other one, I don't know if the other one was too, but I think the other one might have worked at the grocery store. Like, very nice. They were saying, "Hey, kid, I can see you're feeling bad. Come on in here and tell us what's wrong." And
Yeah.
and they're like super nice. And yeah, if it was like, "Oh, we're feeding bad people to my dad," I'd have been like, "All right, whatever."
Yeah.
But these are like decent people.
Jesus, kid.
So screw that kid. You don't get to
Yeah.
say, "I'm sorry, I didn't know." Yeah, maybe after the second body, but no. All right. Number 7, Alvin from Paranorman.
Okay.
You ever see Paranorman?
No.
It's a Henry Selick movie. So same guy who did Coraline.
Yeah.
Same kind of artistic style. About a little kid who can, very much like in Sixth Sense, he can see dead people. He can communicate with dead people.
Okay.
And he's kind of seen as an outcast. Everybody thinks he's just this creepy little kid, even though it's just that he can see things that other people can't, and he can communicate with the dead.
Yeah.
So of course we have to have a random bully.
Always.
Yeah, so random bully, played by McLovin himself. His voice voices him. Christopher
Nice.
Christopher Mintz Plasse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't get into like he's the kind of bully who's a bully, but obviously stupid.
Yeah.
Like he's bumbling dummy. Like you can, but he's like, hey nerd, and like that kind of bully. And it's just like again, I love that movie.
All right.
I think I love anything that Henry Selick has put out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have put his sister on the list, but I think his sister is at that 16, 17 mark.
All right. Yeah.
She's just annoying, terrible older sister. Yeah, but I had to put somebody from there because all of the adults are pretty mean to Paranorman or to just Norman. But I think the bully, I don't know how old the bully is, but I'm going to say he's probably like 15 or 14.
Okay.
Yeah, he's that kind of bully that's just like, I know you're supposed to be the way you are for the sake of the movie, but I don't know. I prefer my bullies to have at least some kind of like deeper thing than I am a bully, so it's my job to pick on the nerdy kid.
Yeah. I definitely get that. And that's why he's on your list.
That's why he's on my list.
Don't bully people for the sake of bullying.
Yeah, this is when I say when Chris says he hates kids, what he's really saying is he hates bullies.
Yeah.
This one's not necessarily a bully, but super annoying. Now, not a horror movie. It's a Roald Dahl story,
Okay.
but it does have some scary moments. I mean, one of the big movie moments in this one is in Bravo's top 10 or top 100 scariest movie moments,
Yeah.
and that's the Willy Wonka scene where they go through the tunnel.
That movie can be creepy.
So I'm going to go ahead and just throw Willy Wonka in this too. It has creepy moments. I mean, I put in
Yeah.
Darby O'Gill and the Little People in one of my lists.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Willy Wonka, Roald Dahl in this one.
You could very easily make Charlie and the Chocolate Factory a horror movie.
And the most annoying character is Veruca Salt.
Yep.
The I want it now spoiled little brat girl.
Yeah, exactly.
This, for some reason I think that like if I were to ever have a kid that I think that I would get along well like if I had a daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a sister and a niece and spend most of my time like growing up with them.
Yeah.
Not to say I don't think I wouldn't be a good father to a son, but like I just would not want them to turn like if they turned out like Veruca Salt, it would just be so sad.
Yeah.
I would be I couldn't think of more miserable like that dad can't be happy. That dad has like Angelica from Rugrats. Like
Yeah.
that is a miserable father.
Well, you gotta think, child like that's kind of a result of bad parenting.
Yes. So I guess I would have nobody to blame but myself,
Exactly.
or my wife.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see whenever I find the future Mrs. Christopher Thomas.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I think everybody. Do I really need to explain why Veruca Salt's on this list?
No.
I mean, if you've seen Willy Wonka, she's as the movie puts it, a bad egg. All right, number 5, delving back into the bullies from the Rob Zombie Halloween movie.
Okay. Yeah.
I've said it before. You made these bullies more unlikable than the serial killer.
Yeah.
I think that
You're happy when Michael killed him.
You were actually happy that, and this is before he even became the masked killer.
Yeah.
You were happy seeing this. I mean, seeing bullies get their comeuppance can be a very good thing. Case in point, Back to the Future, when McFly punches out Biff Tannen.
Yeah.
You want to see that happen. Now, Biff Tannen is a bully that works well for the sake of being a bully.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works. In a good movie, that could work when a bully is just a bully and there's no real reason for it.
Yeah.
But it's because we've spent the entire movie with Marty McFly, Sr. and Jr.
Exactly.
We've spent like 10 minutes, maybe less, with young Michael. And at this point, nobody's likable.
Yeah.
So who are we rooting for? Are we going to root for Michael, who we know is eventually going to be a serial killer? Or are we rooting for, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Even that moment where he's asking Michael to stop and you're supposed to feel sympathetic for him, and you're just like,
No,
nah,
it's like it's you
hit him
you
again.
you weirdly made the bully more unlikable than the serial killer that we're supposed to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And again, just for the sake of being bullies, they're teasing him about, his mom being a stripper
Yeah.
and then saying all sorts of like gross things about, his mom and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
who does the teacher punish when they come in?
Michael.
Was it the bullies who were sitting there saying, "Hey, you think your mom would let me screw her for $1?"
Yeah.
and stuff like that? No, it's Michael. I mean, granted, we find out that he's a sociopath, but I mean, still.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so another bully had to make that list.
Exactly.
Next, Tommy from the Butterfly Effect.
Okay.
You've seen Butterfly Effect?
Yeah, it's been like 5 or 6 years since I watched it, but yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I like the concept.
Yeah.
Now, Tommy is another one of those kids that is just an asshole. At the very least, we kind of understand why.
Yeah.
He was abused by his dad. His dad was sexually abusing both him and his sister.
Yeah.
But that does not take away from the fact that, God, like it's a little too much.
Yeah.
To the point where, how old would you say he probably was? I'd say he's probably like 12, maybe 13. He's beating up like a 16, 17-year-old. Like,
Yeah.
like a dude who's like towering over, beats him up. Like, I can understand if that kid's like rough and stuff like that, but the dude is like taller than him, and I don't see Tom, like I don't care how hard he is. I don't see Tommy beating up this like 16, 17-year-old in the middle of a movie theater.
No.
I'm sorry, but like he hit him with like a one of those little poles that like have the little railing to like for lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think he hit the dude with that, but I mean, come on, man. It just that seemed a little ridiculous to me, and there's just like no. I mean, I understand why, but there's like no redeeming qualities to the point where it's like he doesn't even try. You would think a character like that would be very protective of his sister, but he's also like physically abusing his sister too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say at the very he's better than the other bullies that I've said so far, because at very least we got a reason why. So we can be like, hey, I can kind of understand why he's like this, but I don't know. It's a little much for me.
All right.
All right, now I think we're in the last three here.
Okay.
I hope so anyway. Number 3 is Jody from the movie Uncle Sam. That's on Shudder.
Uncle Sam. I don't think I've seen that one.
It's about a military dude who died. I think he died from friendly fire while out in the field, and he comes back to life. Well, they ship his corpse back to the States.
Yeah.
And the casket has to kind of stay with. I think it's either his estranged wife or his estranged sister.
Yeah.
Now, his nephew freaking idolized this dude.
Yeah.
Super overly patriotic kid. Nothing wrong with being patriotic, but this kid is like ridiculously so.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the kind of the way he talks to his mother in regards to there was a specific line that he said, because the uncle was not a good dude.
Yeah.
And obviously his sister and his ex-wife would know better than anybody that he was not a good dude.
Yeah.
Yet this kid idolized him, and he said something to his mom or something to the effect of like, the guy's name was Sam, so
Yeah.
Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam because it's America.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, well, Uncle Sam is the only person in this family that ever did anything worth a damn." I'm like, you just talk like that to your mom?
Yeah.
Like,
What the hell?
and eventually the uncle comes to life and starts going on a killing spree. That kid just rubbed me the wrong. Like, you're gonna talk to your mom like that, who's like obviously would know it better than anybody that this dude is not a good guy. Or I think it was his sister. It was either his estranged sister or whatever, but obviously a woman who would know better than anybody that this person isn't a good dude, and you're gonna like basically say, "Man, you ain't shit."
Does this kid eventually get killed by Uncle Sam?
Well, you'll have to watch the movie to find out.
God damn it. I feel like that'd be great.
Available now on Shudder.
Go check it out, people.
Go check it out.
Please sponsor us, Shudder.
I'm gonna be doing Shudder shout outs. Come on, like
Yeah.
I'm trying to usher people to get your product. Come on, just
Throw
fund
some
us
money our way.
fund us enough just so we can keep the Zoom chats going.
Yeah.
All right, so number 2 and number 1. Now, both of these I'm going to say can be interchangeable.
Okay.
So I'm kind of trying to figure out which one deserves the honor more.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go with this second one first. This one's a psychological movie. It's thriller-ish, and near the end, it does get to be kind of scary, in that you don't know what's about to happen.
Okay.
It's from a movie called Brothers, with
Brothers? Okay.
with Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I've seen that movie. I think I have it on DVD, actually.
I like the movie.
It's a good movie, yeah.
You know who I can't stand? That daughter.
Yeah.
And you know what scene I'm talking about? That dinner scene.
Oh, yeah.
That dinner scene. Tobey Maguire has been presumed dead for, I don't know how long he had been away, if it had been a full year or it had been a couple months.
Yeah.
He had been presumed dead, missing in action or presumed dead over in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Forced to do terrible things. He was forced to like kill a fellow capturee.
Yeah.
They were basically saying it's either going to be one or you two. You have to either kill him or you're never going to see your family again.
Yeah.
And he's like riddled with PTSD. So even if he
He's
wasn't,
been through it.
he's been through it. So, you know, you are very much on the side of him when he's home, and he's like he's a little rough when he gets home,
Yeah.
you know, and you feel for him. And the kid, this little girl, is just irking him
Yeah.
the entire time at dinner, just irking him, like just pushing his buttons the entire time, like taking the balloon and like rubbing it, and he's like, "Hey, can you stop it?" And just looking at him while she's doing it,
Yeah.
and then he does a little yell, and then she says something to the effect of, "You're just mad because mommy would rather have sex with Uncle so and so more than you." Oh my God.
Oh, God.
I never, you know, that was probably one of the earliest times. Like, I never wanted to hit a child, and maybe until that moment, I was like, oh my God, I hate this little girl.
Yeah.
Is that a train going by?
It is, yeah.
Let me give it a second.
Yeah. Goddamn train.
I'll just edit out the
Yes.
dead space. It's like, yeah, we get it. You're here.
I know. I don't know why it has to be so fucking loud. Live like a quarter mile away from the train tracks.
And you have those pads up.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's like right next to your
there,
house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's bad when you're like right by the train tracks. I don't know why the trains here are so fucking loud.
It's like, you ever see My Cousin Vinny?
Oh, is that the movie with
Joe Pesci?
Yeah, and he's a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hotel that he has is like, I think one of them was like right next to the train tracks.
Yeah.
Kept waking him up every morning. All he wanted to get was a good night's sleep, and something kept coming out, like making him wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning every morning.
God damn, yeah.
All right, is it gone?
It's slowly fading.
I can't hear it on my end.
Alright, then we should be good.
Oh, never mind.
Yep. Motherfucker. Just get through the fucking town.
It's like every honk that is doing is like, fuck you.
Yeah. I'll be as loud as I fucking want.
The house is like, oh, I can't hear it. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't hear me? I'm here.
Yeah.
You guys didn't forget about me, did you?
Alright, I think we're good.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Back to the little girl from Brothers.
Yeah. First off, she's way too young to be knowing what sex is anyway.
Yeah.
And the fact that she said that like you're just mad that mommy would rather have sex with Uncle so and so more than you. I was like, oh my god. Now you want to know what made that even more infuriating? That watch. I saw it in the theater, and I couldn't even enjoy some of the more intense moments because somebody brought their little kid into the movie.
Oh, I hate that.
Somebody brought their somebody brought their baby into the theater, and not only brought their baby into the theater, but gave that kid a rattle.
Oh no. Why? Why do
Doubly. So I was hating the kid on the screen and in real life. Well, I wasn't hating the kid in real life. It was a baby, but I was hating the mom. Like, why would you bring your child into this?
Yeah, it reminds me of some stand-up from Tom Segura.
Oh yeah, I've seen. I probably know which one you're talking about.
Yeah,
but like,
don't
why
bring your babies into the theater?
Don't. Is anybody else here at the adult movie?
Yeah, exactly the one I was talking about.
Yeah. So I doubly I was just kind of upset. Like, yeah, I understand if you're a parent and you want to have a movie night, but either get a babysitter or you don't get to go see the rated R movie.
Yeah, or I can stream a movie on demand.
I think that movie came out like at least 10 years ago.
It had to be, I think, 2011.
Yeah, it was
2011, 2012 time.
Yeah, so it was just ugh, that was a bad. But now that was number 2, and I was debating on whether or not to put that as number 1, just because I was experiencing like fury, both to the on-screen character and the person that was in front of me.
Yeah.
But this one, I have to put this in here, just because you can relate to this one.
Okay.
The kids from The Girl Next Door.
Okay.
All the kids except for the victim in The Girl Next Door.
Oh god. Fuck that movie.
Yeah, this movie is still probably, we've had movies that, we really, really disliked, which was like Venom.
Yeah.
Movies that we trash, like Fear.com. This one probably is still the most uncomfortable sit through for a movie I've had in a while.
I wouldn't say it's a bad movie, it's just uncomfortable.
Yes, that's the same. It's not a badly made movie, and you're supposed to not like, but I do not like anybody other than the victim of this. The entire time you're just like, poor. I don't remember her name, but it's like all the kids go in there and sexually abuse her, physically beat her up. None of them try to,
for no reason either.
None of them try and you have the worst police officer in the world who doesn't do his job.
Yeah.
And of course, I hate the main actress villain, but she did her job. I did not like her.
No.
But she did her job. I will say that, but the fact that all these kids basically would line up to just terrorize and torture this little girl. I might say Chris hates kids and stuff like that, but everybody knows I'm being hyperbolic.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not. I don't wish ill on any kids or any of the actors or anything like that. It's just based on a movie going experience. But man, also not the kids portraying, but the characters. Fuck those characters.
Yeah, those kids. Fuck them.
So that deserves my number 1 right there.
Yeah. Because those kids are just, they're going to grow up to be terrible adults. Those kid characters.
And there's no way that little girl would ever be able to have a normal life.
Well, she dies, but
I know. I'm saying if she didn't.
No.
If she lived. Even if she lived to be 100, there's no way that she would have been able to let that go or put that kind of stuff behind her.
No, that was some of the things they did to her.
The narrator, we're supposed to be feeling remorseful because he's feeling remorseful. I'm like, well,
he didn't do anything about it.
And I was like, you kind of reap what you sow, even when it's not doing something.
Yeah.
So it's, I believe it was the. Was it it was supposed to be a true crime podcast that was One for the Road. That was the podcast.
One for the Road was supposed to join us soon.
That was supposed to, but for one reason or another, it happens. Nothing against them. We've had people having to reschedule and cancel before, so nothing against them. But man, We watched that movie, and then I was like, I just sat through that movie, and I don't even get to rant and talk about it. So
Yeah,
now I get
it's
to.
a movie I kind of hope I never have to watch again.
I mean, for those of you who are interested, I mean, it's a movie that you can watch to see what your tolerance level is.
Yeah,
Kind of like I said, you have those movies, like I said, like Cannibal Holocaust or
yeah,
Serbian Film or something like that, where you can just kind of test your limits and see. All right, I was able to like kind of sit through it, but it was a hard watch
yeah.
because even though I don't like I have this hate Chris hates kids thing. I think one of the things that makes me most uncomfortable in movies is when I see them getting like tortured or abused or sexually assaulted or anything like
Yeah,
that.
'cause she still counts as a kid. She's like 15 years old being tortured.
Yeah, and she was getting tortured by kids of all age ranges.
Yeah.
So I think that one definitely deserves my number one.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
So
Those kids torturing her. Yeah.
yeah, so and that's another Chris hates for you right there. Two part, my second part. I don't know, maybe depending on how. And this one was a full 10 because I think the last time it was like I gave like a ranking system of like these kids are tolerable, these kids I
Yeah.
don't like, these are meh, these ones are
Yeah.
annoying, but these were all like no, I don't like these kids
Yeah. No.
for one reason or another.
Exactly.
Well, I believe I said like last week, we still have at least one more episode coming out. We have our Night of the Living Dead episode coming out.
Well, I think when this one comes out,
Oh
be
yeah,
this one, and then it'll be
so this.
Nosferatu, and then episode with Dylan Mitchell, and then that'll be the end of the season.
Hey, and if I'm wrong, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
But
figure it out as
we
we
will,
go.
we will figure it out. Either people are going to be like, no, that was we already watched that, or they're going to be like, what is? So, just whatever. We're going to still have a couple of little whatever episodes coming up in the future.
Yeah.
We just need to kind of figure out exact dates for a couple of things. But
Yeah.
we're definitely going to continue these top tens into the next season.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and say, do you think that next season we're going to probably end up doing low score bad movies, right?
Yeah. Bad movies will be the theme
The
of
theme.
season 4. Yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead and say it out right now. If you want to reach out on Insta, and if there's some movies out there that you are like, you guys have to watch, this is very bad. Reach out.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll shout you
Yeah,
out
we
on
will
Insta
watch it. Yeah.
or Twitter or wherever
Yeah.
you guys shout us out from. But more treats to come. I'm
Yeah.
loving these seasons. The more and more we do.
Oh yeah. It is getting good.
We're getting to meet some more guests and getting to see more people on old Insta.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, thanks for sticking around with me for another top 10 hashtag Chris Hates. I'm Chris Thomas.
Broker Air Dave. Have a good week, everybody.
See ya.
Peace.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to Body Bag Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment as to what you'd like to hear us review or any horror movie topics you'd like to hear us rant and rave about.
And while you're at it, you can find us on Twitter at Bodybag Pod and on Instagram at Bodybag Podcast.
Thanks, and we'll see you next time.